everyone, and welcome back to my channel and my vlog. My name is Linda. I am Norwegian, but I live in Spain. I'm a teacher and I love to crochet. In this video I'm going to do a tutorial actually for how I made this cardigan, or how I make this cardigan. It is a cardigan and it's going to have buttons, this one, but I haven't put that on yet. And I'm going to make a new one so you can see how I'm doing it, of course. It is going out here. It has kind of like a form fitted, so I will show you that. And it will have one colored sleeves except for the border down on the cuff. I will need to make 42 regular squares like this, granny squares, and 4 squares that are a little bit bigger, I mean a little bit wider for the sides. No, not 4, 8 extras that will be a little bit bigger on the side. Difficult to see, sorry. These are a little bit bigger here, so 8 of those, and I will have 2 triangles like this, and then of course 8 squares that are smaller for the cuffs. So that are the squares that I am going for. The size will be a small, woman's small, with around 85 centimeters on the waist area and a little wider on the hips. So it's more or less 100 on the hips, 96 to 100. That is the size. The length will be around 67 centimeters. So if you want this longer or wider, you can just add on some of the base color in the in between the squares, or if you want it much bigger, you can add 1 round to each granny square. Then you'll get a bigger size, but this tutorial is for a size small. I'm using the yarn called Melissa. This is a cotton yarn, and normally I use the hook number 4, but for this project I'm going to use a hook size number 3 because it makes it look much more nice, much neater and cleaner. So hook size number 3 and the Melissa cotton yarn. You can use any cotton yarn you want, of course, but depending on how big you want it, if you want it a little bit bigger, you can use a hook size number 4. That's also an alternative. You will also need in the end a needle to weave in all of those ends. There will be over 400 ends to weave in. You can do that as you go, or you can do it in the end. I find that when I'm making this one, it's better to do it in the end, but the granny squares could be okay to take in the beginning. But when you start to putting it together, it could be wise to leave it up to the end, in the end, to weave in all of those ends, because you may have made a mistake and you have to go back, and then it could be difficult to find your thread. So just a little tip for you. You will also need a scissor or cutter during this project, because you're going to cut off a lot of yarn, that's for sure. You need to find a base color. I got help from my friends online from my live which color to use for this, so I have already picked out these colors here. And the base color is going to be this dark pink. Then the accent colors are the yellow, green, another kind of purple, a little bit pink purple, the teal or turquoise, this violet, the coral, and the dark blue. These are the accent colors. So this is the base color that I'm going to weight with. You can have some inner squares like this here being in this color, like I have done here. Here I have made a blue inner square, and then I use the same blue for the base color on the cardigan. But I cannot use it for the thing around, for the outer square. Then it will be just disappearing. This time I'm not going to use this as an inner rectangle square as I have done here. I'm going to use all of these others because I have already 7 other colors. On this I used 7 in total. Here on this one I'm using 8 in total. This being the base color and then 7 more colors. So I will have enough. Then what you need to do is, it could be okay, just so you know how it's going to look. I have made a little drawing, so I'm going to show you that. Here I have the back panel, and here are the 2 front panels. So as you can see, I've got 16 squares here, 4 times 4, that are normal, while this and this and this and this will be wider here and there. But these in the middle are also normal squares. Here on the front panels I have 1 triangle on top, and then all of these 7 are regular squares, and these 2 as well, so they're 9 regular squares, and then 2 wider, 1 a little bit wider and 1 much wider. And the same here, 2 wider, 1 triangle, and the rest regular squares. So it's going to be good for you to draw up this, to have an overview of what it's like. I like to stack my squares for the inner square. So here I've got 7 times 7. Well, I've finished some of them, so they're not 7 times 7 anymore. But it's 7 times 7 plus 1, because I need 50 in total for this cardigan. When I've done that, then I do the outer square. I'm going to show you the whole process of making one of these squares. And then I'm going to show you how I pick each of these so that they go together. You can see here that I have taken this kind of lilac or kind of purple or pink, and taken a blue, a teal, a yellow, and I will continue with this. But sometimes I find that they clash or they don't go together, so I kind of avoid that as well. But I try to do so these may be not as good either, while these goes well together. So when it comes to the squares and the triangles, I'm going to show you the process of how I make one square, how I make a triangle, and how I add the extra on those wider ones. Other than that, I will not show you the process of all the squares, because then we would be here a couple of weeks maybe. So it will be just one of each of those 3. So let's just start by making an inner square with this yellow, because I need 1 more square. I start my square by making a slip knot, putting my needle or my hook through, and then I chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then I pull through the first loop, yarn over, pull it through, and make a slip knot through that last chain. Then I chain 2, and this is the first double crochet kind of in when I'm now going to make 3 clusters in this hole here. So I yarn over, go through the hole, yarn over, take it through. Now I've got 3 on my hook, yarn over, go through 2. Then I have 2, yarn over, go through 2. Now I got 2 kind of double crochets. The last one is a double crochet. This one is just a chain, but it is considered as a double crochet. I'll do this once more. Yarn over, in the hole, yarn over, back in the hole. I've got 3 loops, yarn over, through 2, yarn over, through 2. Now I've made a cluster. Between this and the next cluster, I'm going to have 4 of these inside this circle. I chain 2. When I've chained 2, I start the next cluster. So yarn over, back in the hole, yarn over, back through the hole, yarn over, through 2, yarn over, through 2. That's 1 double crochet, the next double crochet, and the next double crochet. I won't do this so thoroughly in the next one. 1 and 2 chain, and then I do the next cluster. 1, 2, 3. Oops. Chain 2, and the last, I've got 1, 2, 3 clusters, so I need 1 more. 1, 2, 3, and that's the last cluster. Now I've got kind of like 12 double crochets with 2 chains in between the clusters. And now I have to attach this here on top of this chain. So I go on under there, yarn over, pull it through, and pull it through the chain that I've got, and now it is secured kind of like in a circle, kind of a square. I want to start my next round over here, so I am going in through these, yarn over, slip knot, and once again under there, yarn over, slip knot. Now I can start to chain 3. I like to chain 3. You can maybe use just 2, chain 2, but I like to chain 3 before I start. Now I am going to make first 1 cluster in this. This is going to be a corner. And then I chain 2, and then I'm going to do 1 more cluster in the same hole. That's how it becomes a corner. There we go. So this is my corner now. And in between this kind of like corner here and the next that I'm going to do here, I just chain once. And then I take another cluster here. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2 because it is a corner. And another cluster. 1, 2, oops, and 3. Chain 1. Then again here, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and for the corner, and another cluster in the same hole. 1, 2, 3, and just chain 1 until I go to the last corner. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and another cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, and now I'll go in here in that stitch up there, yarn over, pull through, and now I have a slip knot here, and I will chain 1. You don't have to, but I like to do that because then it doesn't get loose as quickly. And now I will cut off my yarn and pull through this yarn. Now I will choose a color for the outside. Let me just take this teal color. I make another slip knot like that, and I start in the corner, and I will do it the same as I did on the other round. In this corner I will chain 3, and then I'll start with the cluster. 1, 2, maybe you didn't see how I attached it, sorry. I have the slip knot, go in the corner, yarn over and pull through the chain that I have, or the slip knot, and then it's another kind of a slip knot, and then I start chaining here. 1, 2, 3, and then clusters. There are 3 and chain 2. This is the corner, of course. Another cluster. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, because now I'm going on the side here, and in this one I'm only going to have 1 cluster, so 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and now I go to the corner. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and 1, 2, 3, and chain 1. Back on the side again, so just 1 cluster here. If you think this is going too fast, then you can speed down the video so you can watch it a bit more closely. But I'm just going to do the same thing all over again. Chaining 2 in the corners always. And chaining 1 between the corner and the side. And here's 1 cluster. 1 chain, and then the last corner. 1, oops. 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2 and 3, chain 1, and then on the side, this is the last place that I need to do this. 1 cluster, I chain 1, and now I'm going to connect this over here in this, under there, making a slip knot. I have discovered sometimes that if I forget to do 3, 3 in the beginning here in the corner, and I start with these 3, this corner will be a little bit difficult, or this cluster will be difficult to, and very lumpy in the hole here. So I advise you to do it this way instead of starting here. Start here on the round instead of there. Now I'm going for the second round, and I want to start here again. So I go under here, slip knot, and under here, slip knot, and then I'll start chaining 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to do the same thing over and over again. Just here are cluster, cluster, and 2 clusters in every corner. So I will meet you when I'm all around here again. So now I've gotten around, and I have only got the slip knot left here under there. Make it through, pull it through. Now I've got the square that I need. I need 50 of these. But on this same square, I want to show you how I make the extra squares. I mean the square that I fill on a little bit extra. On there are 2 different. Well, I guess that most of you maybe know how to make this square, so this is no big deal for you. Then you could have skipped this part that I've shown you. But now what I will do is that I will go to this corner like that, and I will say that this is the bottom part of this cardigan. So here is where it comes down, and then it's going out like that a little bit. That means that I'm down here, I'm going to make another cluster, and then I'm going to decrease it up until there. So I'm in the here now. I make 3 chains, I turn my work, and then I make 1, that's the second double crochet, and 2. So now I got a cluster here. In my next one I also make a cluster, while in the next one I will make a half double crochet cluster. So 1, 2, oh, if you don't know it, yarn over in the hole, yarn over, going out, we've got 3 on the hook, and we yarn over and pull through all the 3 at the same time. So as you can see, this is taller than this. Now chain 1 in between, and for this here I'm going to make also one of these half double crochets. There, 1, 2, and 3, chain 1, and here I'm just going to make a single crochet. 1, 2, the single crochets in there, yarn over, out, yarn over, and 3, 2. You could also just do 2 single crochets. It's not necessary to make all of them. So now I've got the one that will be for the second last. I will also have another one down here that is even wider. So if this was that, then I would not have done this same here. Then I would have continued here and made all of these clusters. For this row, because, well, just a moment. Oh, too many. Just because this square that we made, this same square, before I picked it up again here, was ending with this, an extra square, an extra cluster row here. So this is up here, and then it will tie together with this here. And now I will chain 3. I've already chained 1, so 2, 3, and I yarn over, and here I will do a single crochet. I could do a half double, but I will choose here to make single crochets, 3 single crochets. So I'm building it up a little bit, chain 1, and then here half double crochet, 3 of those, I'm sorry, chain 1, and another one, or maybe not another one. I think I will do then a double crochet cluster, like that, and also here double crochet cluster. This you just have to be what is it called, consistent with what you're doing. And in this last here I also make it there double, but I'm not going to make a cluster here because this is just where it's going to be an opening. But then again, I chain 3, turn my work, and I will do a little bit back here. So in this one I will do a half double crochet cluster, chain 1, and single crochet, or maybe even just a slip knot. I think maybe I'll just make a slip knot there. Do this, and then do this, cut it off, pull the yarn through, and then we see that we've got this increase that we want for down on the hip. So that is how I add this on. Of course, it may be difficult in the beginning to know which one of your squares is going to be this one. So you can either just choose the first ones to do this, or you can also of course do it later. You can just add it on this. There will just be another 2 ends to weave in. So if you want to spare you for those ends, then you can do it what I showed you now. Then it's for the triangles. We've got 2 triangles that we're going to make, so now I'm going to show you how you make them. If you know how to make them, you can skip this part, this segment, and go further to how we connect all of these, and maybe how I collect the colors for each inner square. I start the triangle the same way as the square, that I make a slip knot and chain 4 before I put it in there, the first stitch, pull through and through the chain, and then I yarn over, chain 2, and then I'm going to make 2 clusters instead of 4. So it's the same process as I did with a square, just that I'm going to do half the work. Chain 2 in between, that's 1 cluster. No, sorry. Instead of making just 3 double crochets in every cluster, I'm going to make 4. So I need 1 more. That makes them a bit more triangle-y than more like a fan. So then I do 4 on the other side as well. 2, 3, and 4. Then I chain 1, 2, 3. I turn my work. Turn my work. And now I'm going to make here a cluster. And I'm making 4 as well. This is 1. And then the next one. 2, 3, and 4. So I always want 4 down here. This is going to be where the hypotenuse is in the triangle. So chain 1, and then I go up here, which is a corner. So first I make a cluster just with 3 now. 3 double crochets, 2 and 3, and then I chain 2 and make another cluster in the same corner. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, and I'm going to the outer part here. There we are going to make 4 double crochets as a cluster. 2, 3, and 4. Chain 1 and cut off the yarn. Now I can choose if I want to continue from here, so I get 2 of these after each other and 1 here, and the last one that is the kind of the back side, or how I want it. Or if I just want to add it here again, then I'm do every other nice ugly. It's not nice ugly, but I guess you know what I mean. Front back. You can choose. I like to take it here, so I'm going for another color. I went for this coral color. I make a slip knot and I attach it here, and I'm going to make a slip knot there, chain 3, and then I start here with a cluster of 4 double crochets. I have already 1, so this is the second. 2, 3, and 4. Chain 1, go here on the side, so it's just a normal cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, and up here, this is the corner, so 1, 2, 3, chain 2, yarn over, and another cluster in the same hole in the corner. 2 and 3. This is going to look like a watermelon. chain 1, just a normal cluster on the side here, 2, oops, and 3, chain 1, and now I'm also going to have 4 clusters down here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 1, no, chain 3. Turn the work and go back doing the same thing. 4 clusters down here. Now I've got 2, 3, and 4. Chain 1. A normal cluster here on the side. And that's the 3rd double crochet. Chain 1. A normal cluster here. Chain 1 in the corner in between the 2 clusters and go into chain 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 double crochets as a cluster, chain 1. This side has a normal cluster, chain 1. The same for this cluster, this hole, a normal cluster, 2 double crochet and 3, chain 1, and in the last hole here I will also have 4 double crochets, 2, 3, and 4. Make a chain, cut off the yarn, and pull through. So there we have the triangle. 2 of these I need. So you can choose which side you want for the outer and the inner. Now I'm going to show you again. I showed you a little bit, but I'm going to show you again how I make these squares, how I complete them when I've made all of these inner squares. I take one of the colors and I then choose each of these small ones. So now I'm at this lilac or purple kind of pink. I make a slip knot. And then I have done this, I have done that, and I have done that. Let me take a green. And then on the next, maybe I'll take this. But I think maybe these are too like, no, this is okay. So I'll try to do it with all of them. And if I think that they don't fit, maybe these 2 are a bit too alike, then I skip that and I make maybe 2 of the green or the yellow or whatever. I love this one, so maybe I'll make 2 of these. So that is how I do that. And you do the same as I told you before. I won't show you anything else of how I make the squares. Now I've shown you everything of that. So I'm just going to complete all of my squares now. Now I've showed you how I make the squares and the triangles and the add-ons on the dip side. So now I'm just going to make all of these squares until they're done and probably weave in the ends. And then we'll be back with when we are going to combine them with this, not the blue, but with this base color. Yeah. It is the next day and I spent the whole of last night completing this, and this morning weaving in all of the ends. So now I'm going to put these out and see where they're going to be for the back panel and for the 2 front panels. So I got these leftovers, but that's okay actually, because I have to now see whether the squares can go where they are. It seems like it on paper, I mean on the table now, that they're good. The back panel is good and the 2 front panels are good, and the 2 front panels are also good to each other. But now I have to see if the front panels are good against the back panel, because I don't want to have these 2 side by side. So let's see about that. So I've laid all of these out on my table now. This is the back panel, these 4 rows. This is the left side of the front panel, and this is the right side of the front panel. I can already see now that these 2 cannot go there. So I have to change one of them, or I have to either I have to just flip them out with another one. I could take, for example, this yellow there instead, like that. So now that's okay. Otherwise it looks nice here. Nobody's clashing. I also have to think here, these two on the top there, and this with that one. This is not such a big deal because this is a triangle. Now for the more tricky part is that the outside here must not line with the outside here. So if we see, we got good on the top, good on the second, good on the third, fourth, fifth, sixth. All of them are good. Let's just double check that they're good on the other side also. Yes, they are. So now I can start connecting all of these squares. I will start with a back panel and I will go row by row. I will connect here, here, and here. Then I will take the next one there, there, and there, there. And I will do all of these. So I will have 6 rows. Then after that, I will take, combine every row to each other. And then I will do the same for this. Since I'm sitting here and have these right in front of me, I will start with the bottom one, because if not, everything will fall off the table. So I'll start with this. I do the same, that I make a slip knot and I fasten it in the corner. Chain 3 and make a cluster. Chain 1 and make cluster in all of these. When I now reach the end hole here and finish my cluster, I will chain 2, 1, 2. Then I will yarn over, grab my other square inside the hole, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through. That is the first double crochet of the cluster in this hole, because I'm going to connect these two now. When I now have made a cluster here, I am going to connect it here. I put, well, I loosened this slip knot or whatever, well, this where I had this fastened, put my needle or my hook through that hole and through the hole. I tighten it and then I pull it through, and then I make a slip knot, so I fasten it there. Now I yarn over and go to the next hole and make another cluster. So I'm making clusters in this on this side now, the same as I did on this. The only difference is that I don't make add a slip knot here, or I don't chain one here. I drag it a little bit so it's a little bit big, then I put it through my hole here, through the chain, tighten it, pull it through the hole, yarn over and pull it through. So it is connecting. Now I have clusters on both of these squares. Then I do it again, chain, the cluster, loosen it a bit, pull it through there, tighten, through, yarn over and tighten. Another cluster, drag through the hole and fasten it. And then for the last hole here and the last cluster, 3, pull it through, and then I just take it inside this and connect it there. Now I can cut off the yarn and drag through. So this is now how I have connected 2 of these. I will do the same now here and here, and I'll do the same here and here and here, all of these. And I'll come back when I'm going to connect this with this. It is the same, but I'm going to show you that part as well. When you connect them, it's of course important that you make sure that this part is in its correct place. I lined these up, so now these 4, these 2 and these 4 and 2 here are where they're supposed to be. The same for the front panels. And when I'm now connecting this to this, it's important that I do that here, so I don't get it to be like that. But all the other squares, it doesn't matter which way they are connected because they're squares. So now I'm going to connect the last one. I chain 2 here, I yarn over, take this because I'm going upwards there, making a cluster, 3 double crochets, drag that through, go through the hole, hole, and connect them. Yeah, I'll just do this off screen. Actually, since this is the add-on, it's important that we take it all the way out here in the add-on and make that slip knot, 1, 2, 3, and make the cluster there. And then we go to this. And that means that when we go back and end up here, we will need to put one here, and that will be line up with this here. Now we are approaching the area where we have already connected 2 squares. So when I'm done with this cluster, the next one will be in this hole here. And then here. And this is how I'm going to go about it all the way over to here. Now we are at the ultimate here. So I found that hole there to make the last cluster. You could also go for just one attachment here, but I tend to make a cluster almost every time. Yarn over, and now I'm going to connect the whole thing here. So I will then find the compatible hole here to this. That is here. And then I'll make the cluster there. Drag it through. Make sure I have this part and not do it here. Sometimes it ends up like this and I don't understand anything. I'm not going to connect it here. Now that I have different colors, it is much easier to know which side to connect them to. But if they're the same color, make sure that you do it on the correct side, that you don't do it down here and that it is on the back side. I'm now just going to fast forward until we get to the over here. Okay, we are here again. doing this corner with this corner, they're aligned, and then into this connection with the pink, the dark pink. Cluster on this side, drag through, and then now I've already used this part on the other side, so now I'll go inside the next hole here, and then I'll just continue all the way through. I'll show you when I'm done with this. So now these two first panels, or whatever, not the panel, totally the panel, but the bottom part of the panel is connected, and I will do just the same with all of the other squares. So we'll be back when I have completed all 3 panels, 1 back panel and 2 front panels. So now the panels are done, the back panel and the 2 front panels. The next thing for me to do now will be to add some of this dark pink on the outside, and I'm thinking about doing, I will start this panel by going by going from here up and there, back, down, there, and up again and down again, because I want to add a bit here. This is where the side of the body is, and on top here I want to add 1 extra before I do the attachment to the back panel. So I'll do that on this and also on this. Later I will see if I want it a bit longer, so now I'm just going for 1 down here. When I say 1, it's 1 round of double crochet or clusters. So I'll do that now on all of these. I'll show you a little bit, especially since here we will have to do something specific, something different, because we have some kind of corners, not 90 degrees angle, but we have some angles here that it's important to do something. As you can see under the arm here, or on the side, on this one, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra rows. So I will do 2 rows, and then later I will have the connection in the middle. Up on the shoulder here, this is not how I want it this time. This is just the connection row on both of them. I want it a little longer, and I want it to be more distinguished. So I will have 1 round or row for both of the panels before I do this. So we will have 2, or maybe even 3. Like I have 2 clusters rounds before I do this. We'll just have to see how I will do that. So as I said, in order for me to naturally end up here and go up and down, then I will start here now and go around. So I make my slip knot, and I don't do anything other than what I've done all the time here. Attach it in the corner, chain 3, and make myself a cluster here, chain 1, and go for the next. Well, this will be a little bit tricky. Maybe I'll go here. And I'm now at the increasing parts. So I'll just have to find out where I will connect them, find the holes, and I have to do the same on the other side, and so that there will be the same amount. Here I'm thinking I will go there and there later, so they're kind of a little bit tight here, not so much space in between the clusters, but that's okay. Like, and from this one I will go into this hole that is from the connection when I connected these two rows. The next one will be here. All of these ends that are not woven in is a little bit in the way, but I prefer not to weave them in yet, just in case I make a mistake and have to go back. Now I am on the second kind of rectangle, the increasing part, and I'll just have to find out where my holes are for making the clusters. The next one I will do there. And the next one here. Oops. And now I have practically done what I need to do. Rest of it, this is just normal clusters. So I'll meet you back in the corner when I reach the top. Okay, now I've gotten to the corner, and this is just the same as I've done before with the squares, that I make 3 double crochets, that's one cluster, chain 2, and another cluster, 3 double crochets. I'm dropping them now. And yeah, I'll be back when I get here. Here is where the triangle starts. So from here there is slightly an angle. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to make 2 double crochets. Then I'm going to chain 1 and make 2 extra double crochets. That helps me to get a slightly angle here, so I can go down here. I've made a mistake before, that I've done too many. I made 9 different clusters on this part, so I'm going to make just 6. I've discovered that 6 is a good number for where to put them. So I'm going to go here, 1, 2, 3. No, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go there. 1, 2, 3. No, then it's just 5. Let me see. Oh, I'm just going to try. Let's see. No. Yeah. The first cluster. Chain 1. The next one I will take here. And the next one I will take outside the middle. This is the middle, so I'll just take it outside the middle here. And then I'll do the same on the other side. This is a little bit tricky that when it's not very designated where this cluster should be. Now skip the middle part and I went outside on the other side. Remember always to chain one in between. Well, I always chain one in between. Maybe you don't have to, but I do. Then I will do it here, which I did here in the just between the yellow and the lilac. And the last one, as I can see here, it was just slightly into the yellow, so let me also find that here. It will be more or less there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clusters. And then I've reached this again, and I need the same angle as I had up here. So I will make 2 double crochets, then I'll chain one, and I'll make 2 more double crochets and chain one. So there we have kind of like an angle again, and I'll just continue around until the beginning of where I started. Look at that angle. It's nice. Now I'm back at the corner here. Actually, I should have done 2 clusters in this from the beginning, and I didn't. But, well, that's what I told you about earlier, that now it will be a little bit difficult for me to make another cluster in this place. It's probably going to get kind of bulky with that cluster. Well, it wasn't too bad. Chain 2 and then close this. Now I'm back at the beginning. I'm now going to make 1 row up here and then 1 row back, and so I will do 1 up to here, and then I will turn and go back, and then it of course will be this kind of pattern on the last row that goes down. That's okay. And when I've done that, I will do the same on the other front panel. Another thing, now that I am here, I want to start here. So that's also a reason why I should have made 2 clusters at the same time. It would have been easier for me. But, okay, so I'll try to go back here. I'll just turn around and make a slip knot. So I'm inside it and then turn around again. Well, let's see. Maybe I have to do this with a yarn. Oh no. Well, 1, 2, 3. Chain 3 and go into the cluster. And now I'll just make 1 cluster, 3 double crochets, because I'm going up and down and I'm not going over here. Did I chain 1? Yeah. And just continue. I'll meet you back when I'm going to turn up on top. Now I'm up on top here with the corner, so I will make a cluster in the corner, chain 1, 2, 3 and turn my work and go back down again. And now I of course skip here and go into this, and then I'll just work on that the same way back to the bottom. Now I'm back in the last corner, so I'll make a cluster here and then chain 1, and now I'll just do 1 double crochet here, chain 1, and I'll cut off the thread. There. That was the back side. So let's see now. This is how it looks like. This is going to be on the side. And yeah, you can see the angle here and there. So it's nice. The angle here is very nice. I'll do the same on this one, and then I'll just go around on this. When I've gone around once, I will also make 2 rows here and on the other side. So that will be the same. On top here, I think I'll do, at least I'll do 1 more, but I'm not sure if I will attach more here. I did both of these front panels and I did mostly of the back panel. But as you can see, I went up and down here and then I had to cut it off here. So now I have to add 2 rows here on this side as well. So I'll just add on that. You know how to do it, so I won't show you that. I am going to connect them on the shoulders, but I see that it's very small. Just 1 here. I think I want to add 2 before I do that. Maybe I'll add 1 and then the second one will be the tying together. So I will do that. Just making 1 row here, 1 row there, and 1 row there, and then I'll start the connecting part, because it will be better when this starts a little bit further down when the cardigan is done. I've reached the corner here and actually tried a couple of different things that didn't work, so now I'm going to try another thing. I already cut off the yarn, so I'm just going to try to do 1 double crochet in the angle in the angle there, like that, and then a slip knot like that. There we go. And that means that I should start with the same thing here. Start with 1 double crochet here. That means chain 3. Then I will do the next here. So I'll do the clusters back. So like that. Okay, now all the add-ons are on. You don't have to do what I did just now. That's something extra that I wanted to do for this cardigan. So now it is time to connect these. I will turn my back panel and I will line up these on top, the front panels. Like that. I will start here. I'll start here and just making clusters over here, and then I will chain 2 and I will add on the back until here. When I've done that, I will cut off the yarn here and I'll do the same here, but then I'll start on the back here, going over there and chain 2 and connect it here, so that you just see what I'm going to do. Taking this first, connecting it here, 1, 2, 3, and I will actually not do clusters in this first. I will start in the next here. That is so that it still will go a bit diagonally. I'll meet you in the corner. Chain 1. I have to make 1 here as well, but I will not make a cluster there. So I'll just do 1. Then chain 2, and then I'll just do the same here. Just make 1 like that, and then go into that first hole and drag it through and connect it. And then of course continue with the cluster in the next hole here. and find the next hole of this, which is here, as I've done on all of these others. Like, no, I think you get the drill now. So we'll meet back when I'm going to the edge here. Now I've reached the last. This is the diagonal thing, so I'll put it in here, fasten and tighten it like that, and I can cut off the yarn and drag through. So that's one shoulder connected, looking great. And now for the other one. Then I will start here. Now it's much more important that I count where to start. I will line these up like this, and I will have to count, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. So kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This seems to be the place where I'll start. Make a slip knot. Here it was. I will 1, 2, 3 start with a cluster here. No. Will I do the cluster here or won't I? That's a big question. I'll do that, but I may be mistaken. So I may have to do it again later. We'll see. So I'll just do the same as I did on the other side, on the other shoulder, and I will show you when we reach the end of this here. I've reached the end here. I have combined it to the last cluster on the other side, no, a hole on the other side, and now it's just for me to chain one. Well, I already chained one. I connected it to this, and then I will just make a slip knot in this hole here and there. Maybe I should have chained one more. I don't think so. Cut it off and drag through. Now they're both connected. Let's just check the counting. The holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 holes. On the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 holes. Yes, they're lining up correctly. This took me a minute to do correctly, so I just skipped the footage that was not correct, and you're stuck with it, what made it work. So here it is now. We have combined the shoulders, and then it's for me to combine the side. And now I have to find out where to start, because what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to start, I'm not sure if you see this, I'm going to start here on the bottom, going up to the place that I need to be in order to connect it on the other side, and go down. So I have to find out where to start that. I'm thinking 22, 24 centimeters from here and around. So I will measure this so that there are kind of 11 or 12 centimeters down and the same up. That is for the hole, so I can connect and make the sleeve later. Well, that was a lot of baloney. 11 centimeters is just there. It is 22 or 24 down and then the same up, of course. So the 23 is just in between or after these two first squares. But I think I'll go a little bit further. I think I'll take 25, like in this hole here. So I'll just have to count how many holes until here. So this is the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The 15th hole. I should grab a stitch marker. So I put on the stitch marker on both of these. Let me just check that I have the same up here and down here, because this is the important thing, that I have this same amount of holes on both of these panels. I just double checked that there are 25 holes here. So now I can start, and then I'll start on this panel back here, going up until this. And when I come here, I'll show you how I turn here, even though I've done it a lot of times now. Okay, we have reached the stitch mark. So I'm going into that hole, making the last cluster. A bit difficult with this stitch marker laying around. Chain 2, turn the work, find the other stitch mark, hold, and I connect them. Just as simple as that. Make the cluster here. And go in the next hole and go back down. So that is the trick. And I'll just continue this way down. And I'll do exactly the same on the other side. And I'll meet you back when I'm going to start the sleeves. So, now we have a vest. We're done, right? We'll just now add on the sleeves. It's looking really good. I love that it's making the shape of the body, but the hips. It's bigger for the hips here. Love that. And yeah, so I'm going to make the sleeves, and the sleeves are going to be the dark pink color, except on the bottom. On the bottom I will make this. It will be 4 of these squares that I've connected. So this I've already made. I will make 4 more of these, or actually I have done it, but I will show you. I don't think I have to show you. Maybe this is enough to show you that you need 8 of these. And I'm going for these 2 colors and connecting them, of course, with the dark pink. It's 2 rounds in the middle with the dark blue, and then 1 round just with this other color. So 8 of these you need, and I'll show you how to connect this later. It's actually the same thing that I've already done. But yeah, let's start on the sleeves. Just had to show you the back as well. It's really looking good. I really, really like it. I didn't think I would like this color as much, but I do. This is the kind of sleeve that I'm going to make. So first there are a lot of rounds with clusters. Then I have some rounds with single crochets, and this is where I decrease. So you can see it starts up, I start off wider, and then when you come here I take it in a bit, and then another cluster part, and then another single crochet where I take it a bit more in, and then I complete it with this. I've actually decreased quite a lot. I think maybe instead of making 2 places with single crochet, that I won't do 10, 10, and the rest. I will do 8, 8, 8, and the rest. So, because the decreasing part from here to here is kind of much, it should be, that's where it should be most also though. So maybe it's okay. For the last part down here, I need to make sure that the amount of clusters here add up to the amount of holes that I have on the sleeve. So that is an important thing, so that when I'm going to connect this to this, they line up and they add up. So here is the hole for the sleeve. I'm going to take off these. I don't need them anymore. When I make the first round, I start where I have connected, which is here. So that is where I'm going to fasten the slip knot. chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I start the cluster right in the middle here. Chain 1, find the next hole, make a cluster, chain 1, make a cluster in the next one, and this is how I'm going around the whole thing. When I get up on the shoulder, I may want to show you, if, well, maybe, if not, we'll meet back on the end of this round. I'm up on the shoulder now. I have 2 holes here, and I will use both of them for the clusters. Just because it's kind of difficult to choose one of them. And if I was going to do in the middle, it will be here. Could it be here? No, yeah, it could be there, but I'll do this. Let me see how that works. That's okay. Let's meet back up when I get to the end of the round. We are now at the end here, so I will make one more cluster here, like that, chain 1, and now I will connect it in the first cluster that I made, like there. And now I could either do this that we've done all the way, slip knot until here, or I can chain 3 and make this be the last double crochet in this cluster that's going to be here in the end, and then start like this, doing this cluster, so that this will now be the third double crochet in this. So I'll do this now, and I'll just be doing that around and around, 10 rows, 10 rounds. I've reached the end of the round, so 1 double, 2 double crochet, and this is the third one, so I'll just attach it like that, and there we have that last cluster. Now I'll chain 3, and this will be the first in this cluster. 2, 3. There we go. And I'll just do this every other row. It will be these attachments. So I will meet you back when I'm going to decrease, when I put on the single crochets. I have now done 8 rounds, and I think that's enough. I think I need to be decreasing because this has 31 clusters, while the blue cardigan had just 26 at this point. So now I'm going to start the decreasing process by using single crochets. So I chained 1. Well, let me do it again. I just connected the last round of clusters. I chain 1, and then I'll start in this one. But then I'll always skip this first kind of stitch there, and I'll do this and this and this. So I'll skip this one, and I'll do this and this and this. And that's what I'm going to do for the whole round. I'm at the end of the round now. I will go in there for the single crochet, and I could now make a slip knot in the first single crochet, but I'll just go around and around and around, and when I've done 6 rounds of these single crochets, I will come back and we will see how I can go back to the clusters. Then I have to count and do some calculations. I just did 5 rounds instead of 6. As you can see, it is going in here from this. It may be a bit too tight here. We'll see later. I'm now going to add the clusters again, and I should be counting how many stitches I have in the rounds, but I will not do that. That is when, for the last round that I do single crochet, it is important so that I get to 20 clusters. Here it's not very necessary to count them. It's just that when I'm reaching the end, I have to make sure that they're kind of even. So now I'm going to chain 3 and make a cluster in this, in this here. 2 and 3. Chain 1, and I will count 1, 2, 3 that I skip, and in the 4th I will make another cluster. So every 4th stitch is where I place the cluster. 1, 2, 3 and 4. But when I kind of reach the end, I will stop and I will calculate where to put them so that I won't end up with 2 clusters just next to each other with one in between or whatever. I am approaching the end here, so let's see now. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4 there, 1, 2, 3, 4 there, it won't work. I could stretch it and go 5, but no. So I'll go back and do instead of 3 in between, I'll do 2 in between from here. Let's see if that works. So that one, 1, 2, and this one instead. So this is just an adjustment that you can make. 1, 2, and this one. So it will be 1 extra cluster instead. 1, 2, and this one. And then 1, 2, and this one. 1, 2, and this one. 1, and I think maybe I should go back even 1 more. So let's go, I don't remember here. Yeah, 1, 2. Okay, here. This will be perfect. And then I'll have 1 cluster left. So 1, 2, and that one. Now it's going to line up or add up. Now 1, 2, and then we are here. So I will attach this up here like that. And then I'll just continue with these clusters, another 8 rounds, I guess. I have made 8 new rounds of clusters, so now I'm going to do the single crochet again. I've chained 1, and then I will just do the same as I did before. I'll skip this one, but I think, well, I'm going to count these clusters now to see how many I have, because I want to end up with 20 before the sleeve, the cuff. Let me just count. Okay, so I've got 25, so I've actually decreased 5 or 6 already. So that means that I will be going in this hole on half of the clusters. So I'll do every stitch in this cluster, and then I'll do this in between. And now I'll skip this hole or this stitch and do the next one. So every other cluster I will skip the first stitch. So now I'll skip it because I did it here, didn't I? No, I skipped it here. Okay, so now I'll do that stitch. So every other skip and crochet, a single crochet for 5 rounds. I am again at the place where I'm going to make clusters again. So I will do it in every 4th stitch and see how that goes. So chain 3. Actually, I'm just going to chain 2 now because No, let's chain 3 since I've done that all the time. And then there and there, 1 cluster, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, and that one. When I've done 1 round, I'll count how many I've got, how many clusters, because I want to go down to only, I have 25, right? So I want to go down to 22. And then on the last time that I make a single crochet, I want to go from 22 to 20. So let's meet back when I've finished 1 round and see how many I've got. So now I'm around and I'm actually good here. 1, 2, 3, and there. And then 1, 2, 3, and here I attach it. So this time I was lucky, but now I want to count if I've got 22 clusters. Yes, I have actually got 22, so that's perfect. So I'll continue now doing 8 more rounds, I think. In a bit I will try to measure it, but I think I'll do 8, and then yeah, I'll do 8, no question about it. 8 more rounds of double crochets, clusters. So I'll meet you when I am at the next single crochet. Again, I will do the single crochets because I've done 8 rounds. Now I will try to do 2 that I make and then skip 1. 2 that I make and skip 1. I'm not sure if that will be the correct to do, but I will try. So inside here, inside the next, and then skip this the 3rd time. I'm not sure, but I don't want to decrease as much as I did on the last round, so maybe this will work. So I've come around and I will just now continue going round and round, and when I've done 5 rounds we will count and do the calculations for how much how many, if I have to do 3 or 4, well, 2 or 3 in between the clusters, the last rounds of clusters. I am going to count the stitches now, how many stitches I have here around. 1, 2, 3, these are stitches, and I'll be back. I counted that I have 78 stitches here. Then I took my calculator and divided 78 by 4, and I got 19.5. So that means that I can't take every 4 stitches and do a cluster. I just have to make sure that I might end up with 19, so I'll just have to make sure I have 20. This is a good number. 78 was a good number divided by 4. So I'm going to make a cluster in every 4 stitches. I have made this cluster now, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4 before this, and I imagine I've just got 19. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to count them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That means I have to go back a little bit and make sure I got room for 1 more. Then 1, 2, 3, and there we go. That's perfect. So now I can do my last rounds. I think maybe 5 is enough, but I'll have to measure it with a tape measure. I want it to be more like here. So this is the space that I'm going to fill. So I will need another, well, like 6 more of these. But then it will be, yeah, on the 6th, then add this. But of course I have to show you how I made this also. Now I've done 7 rounds and I will do the 8th round on this to connect them. But first I must make this to show you how I do that. You need 4 of these. So it's 2 rounds with a blue and just 1 round with a lighter color here. Then we just attach them here and here, and then there and there and there and there, and in the end we connect the last one to the first one. You know the drill about how to connect them to each other, so I'm gonna skip that on the video, but I'm going to show you as I'm connecting the last one to the first one. Now I've connected them all, so I just have to connect it to the beginning. So I'll just double this up, yarn over, and making the cluster here. The first one, going in that hole, tightening it up, and doing as we normally do. When I reach the end here, I'm not going to cut off the yarn because I'm going to use that to go around twice with clusters and 1 time with double crochets in every stitch. So let me show you just now. There we go, I've fastened it. Now I'm going to go around here 2 rounds of double crochets, clusters like this, and then 1 round of this. So I'll show you how I do this double crochet, while this one you've seen before. So I don't have to, I already chained 1, so 2 more, 3 chained, and I'll start the first cluster here. Chain 1, next, and so on. Okay, so now I'm going around twice, and as you can see, the cuff is quite wide. I want it wide, but I don't want it wider. So now that I'm going to go around once here with double crochets, I will not take all the stitches. I will skip the first stitch, as I always do. So I will chain 3 and I will make a double crochet, but not in that one. I will do it here. So I will always skip that first stitch. These 2 I've done, and then in between. So I skip that one and I do these 2. And that is what I do for the whole round. Well, up here is where the stitch is. This is just the leg or whatever on these chains. But here is the stitch. Grab that, make a slip knot, and fasten it like that. Cut off the yarn, and I'm done with the cuff. And now now you can kind of see that it's a little bit tilting inwards. So when we have this cuff on, it is kind of bending inwards a little bit. Now for the last part of the sleeve, I will attach these 2. This is under the arm, and it doesn't matter where. Well, it matters a little bit. So here, this is where we will start. So I will, well, let's see. This is a little bit tricky, I think. But this is where, yeah, here. So I will yarn over. Oh, I dropped a stitch. To chain 2, yarn over, and I will grab this now and pull it through there. Make the cluster here. Then we'll go into the hole here, fasten it, and go around as we've always done. This can be a little bit tricky in the beginning and in the end. In the beginning, because you kind of don't understand how it goes, almost. Well, that is at least my experience, that it's been a little bit difficult. But we'll meet back when I'm on the end of this. We are approaching the end, and what you will find now is that it's difficult to both hold this and keep your fingers inside the project here and making this fasten thing on the holes. So now we can see we've got one hole there and one hole there left. So a cluster in the last one here. Let's see, this one. Now I just have to keep my fingers outside almost. Still making this cluster. Find the other hole. Let's see. Oh, I mustn't lose this. There's the hole. Through there, and there. And then I may. No, this wasn't too big. Sometimes this is a bit too big, so you should almost sometimes fasten it in this, but I don't think that's necessary here. Okay. Cut off. And there we go. Drag it through. There we are. So there we go. We got one sleeve that is finished. It's in the sun here. This is on the bottom. Great. Looking good, actually. So now it's for me to do the same on the other sleeve. And then we will do this part. Before I go around here with what I think is going to be 3 rounds of single crochet instead of the double crochet that I was talking about, I will add on down here. So I'll go around and around. We'll see how many rounds. At least 3, maybe even 4 or 5. So I'll start here, and then I'll just make clusters all the way around. Slip knot, 1, 2, 3 chaining, and then I'll start and go around, turn, go around, turn, etc. I actually think that this is enough, so I will do now 1 round of just the double crochet in all the stitches except the first of every cluster. I actually cut off the yarn since the last round that I did was on the right side. I want the last this last row that is double crochet, I want that also to be on the correct side, on the right side. So I will connect this here, chain 3, and almost did a cluster, and go in every stitch except this first of every cluster. So I'll skip this and go through this, and that's what I'm going to do until I am done on the other side. Thinking about this line here I've done double crochets and then made holes here. This is how that looks. Now here I've done single crochets. I think I'm going to go with single crochets. I think this is nicer. And then on the first, I will start down here and go up. So I will have to put stitch markers where I want the holes to be, but I'll do that on the second round. I start way down here, of course. Let's see. Slip knot, and then I chain 1, and I go in the same stitch. And I go right beside here, there's a kind of a stitch, but I think I'll take 2 in this, because it's better to have too many than to have too few stitches when it comes to the border around the neckline. 2 here as well, and 2 here as well, and 2 in this kind of, well, in this double crochet there and there. Now I got plenty. Then I'll just do as I normally do, but I will take the first stitch of every cluster and make the single crochet there. So I'll go around, and when I am on my way back, and we'll start with making the holes, I will show you. Actually, now we've reached the angle, and for the angle I will be making 1 single crochet, chain 1, and put another single crochet in the same stitch before I continue. And I will do that, oops, what? Oh, I missed there. And I will do that on the other angle as well. I have now stitched up where I am going to have the holes and marked them in between all of these, between the squares in the joints actually. So I am going to do that now. So here I am, I'm where the angle is. So this is kind of a little bit strange maybe, or whatever. I'll do that, and then I'll chain 1, 2, 3, and I'll skip 1, 2 stitches and go in the 3rd stitch there and continue. So I will now have a hole here where the button will go, there, just in the corner. And I'll do the same thing when I come down to the next stitch marker. Now I've reached my 2nd stitch marker. I will skip these 2 stitches, so now I'll chain 1, 2, 3, skip 1, 2, and go in the 3rd stitch and continue down. And this I'll do all of these buttonholes. Now I am on my way back again, the 3rd time with a 3rd row with single crochet, and I've gotten to the hole here, the buttonhole, and I will do 3 single crochets around the chain, and then I'll continue in the stitches. So, oops, the holes will look like this for the buttons. Everything but here is very nice. Here I will go back and around this for the last round because it's too pointy. I'm going to put a button here, so it's not a big deal, but I want it a little bit better than this. Also, it's a little bit bulky here, so I think I will skip some stitches. Skip every 3 or 4 stitches on the way down. I'm actually going to try to round it up by taking 3 in 1. Let's see how that works. Maybe it's a little too much. Maybe I should just do 2. It looks okay. Much better. I think it's okay. So when I was saying I was going to skip every 3 or 4 stitches, I mean I'm going to take them together like this and connect them. So I'm kind of decreasing. 1, 2, 3, and the 4th and 5th stitch I'll take in the stitches and pull through, and then pull through all of them. So every 4th stitch, 4th and 5th. This actually seems a little bit bulky as well, so I may have done it a bit too much. So I think I'm going to back, and I'm going to take every 5th stitch, the 5th and the 6th stitch. It's not much, but a little bit. So now it is much neater. and I'm going to sew on the buttons. I'm going to put the stitch marker on this side so I know where to put them. When I'm going to sew on the button, I will first fasten on the back side here. So I will go a little bit down under these stitches or whatever, these threads, that way, and I will go up again so I get to where I am going to start sewing the button on. Now we're here. It's important that I put it in the correct way, of course, and then I'm just going to add it on. I'm going up and down 4 times, 3 or 4 times, but I think I can do 4. It depends on how thick the yarn is, and this is kind of thick, so I may have to stop after 3. Let me try just to make sure. Okay, 4 it is. 4 times it is. Then I'll go back here again, and I can do 1 or 2 things. I could either go under here up to here and continue with the same thread doing the same thing, or I could fasten here and then take a new thread here. I'm gonna try to go up there. I don't have to go under every thread, just here and there. So the last thing for me to do now is to weave in all of these ends. So I'll just show you how I will weave in one of these ends, and then I'll do the rest later. I will go under here, and then I will skip this thread and go back the same place, and I will go under the other side, and then I'll also skip this one and go back here, and maybe I'll go even back here again, or I could take it in another route. So I'll do that, and I could also go a bit up here. Actually, I should rather go up here, so let me go back again there and go up here under a stitch, and then go here. And for the last, I will tighten it under, let me see, there, we have one, and go back and kind of make it a little tight there. I mean, so that when I cut this off, it won't unravel. There we go. The cardigan is done. It took a minute. This video is the longest video I've ever made. It's almost 2 hours long. I have already edited 3/4 of it, so I'm just going to do the last part. This is the front. Let's turn it around to see how it looks like. Whoa. And the back. My mannequin is kind of crooked. Betsy is a little crooked. So I am really pleased with the work. The only thing I have to do is to weave in the ends, but that I don't have to do on screen. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that you can get use of it to make your own. Bye bye.